Alright, greetings guys. Shalom. All praises to the Most High Bahasham Yeshaya. Alright, this is part 5. Let's continue on. Now we're on the non-negotiable private bond, private marriage, private contract, private covenant for set off. So now you're setting off this account and setting off the charges. So now this is very sensitive information, so I can't show you everything in detail. But this right here is for the value of $100 billion, the worth of the birth certificate. And then right here where it says live birth number, that will be the number where it says certificate on your birth certificate, that number in red. So that's the number you'll be using for that, for the live birth number. So now you put registered mail number, all that stuff. Now you're accepting for value this whole thing and exempt from levy automatically and depositing it to the U.S. Treasury and charged to your all capital name straw man's account, and you give its social security number with dashes. So the social security with dashes is another way to say the straw man's name. Instead of saying, hey, all caps name, whatever the all caps name is, you're calling it 000 000 000, well 000 dash 00 dash 000. Come up. So to make it short, Macintosh Gene, the straw man, come up. You see, that's what they're calling. So the social security number is not an account number, it's a cattle number, it's an inventory number. It's how they keep track of their inventory to see who. It's another way to say your name but in number. You see? And now the social security without dashes is your employer identification number. So you're actually an employer of the United States corporation. So now where it says bond number, the bond number will be the registered mail number that you get. And make sure each bond have its own private registered bond number. You see what I'm saying? Because now you can keep track of everything. The registered mail number is also the registered mail number as well as the bond number issued by you, the principal. And it's being paid to the order of the United States Department of Treasury to the care of C/O means to the care of Jacob J. Liu, fiduciary for the benefit of Macintosh Jean, the principal. And this is at 1500 Pennsylvania Ave Northwest, Washington, District of Columbia, D.C., 20220. That's their zip code. This is what locks them into the federal fictitious section. So right here where it begins, for those of you who have the documents, it says certificate of live birth number. You'll put the certificate of live birth number there, and you continue on, except for value and exempt from levy for deposit to the Department of Treasury. For further credit too, see, further credit, you're crediting everything. Everything's credit. There's no such thing as gold and silver money no more. You're a fool to think that promise to pay notes are valuable. They're not. As the promise is valuable, the signature is valuable. Your promise is just as valuable as the money. I promise to pay $2 billion. I swear it. Write a contract on it. Now you can trade that $100 billion promise, because now when that person got to pay up, and they got it paid up one day, they mandatorily have to pay that money. Whoever you sold it to, they get to collect that money. So that means the promise to pay it has some type of value. It's an account receivable. So now you're putting your bond order, registered mail number, blah yada yada. There's a lot of personal information here. You're truly supposed to be using sureties, but surety is someone who's a collateral for the debt. But I went ahead and used my name there. And the principal will be the straw man, all caps name. The principal is the all caps name. And you need 3 witnesses to witness this document. Me, I kind of did mine inappropriately because I was the witness on all 3. But yeah, you got to have 3 other witnesses. And it's good to have 2 other sureties. Sureties are people who are creditors, people who have money, people who have funds. You know what I'm saying? And this right here is to adjust bills, taxes, or claims against the all cap name legal fiction. So they actually give you directions on how to do all this when you do it. So there's a private registered bond for set off. Can't show you too much of that because it's private. You know, it's some sensitive information. So now we're continuing on. You have number 17, the fiduciary appointment. Because before you even give them the bond and they discharge the debt, you need to appoint someone as a fiduciary. Fiduciary, I know it sounds like a funny word, like a douchebag, but it's a trustee, appointing an agent, appointing a clerk, a bank clerk who's going to be managing your money. So right here, you're going to be appointing the Secretary of Treasury. I don't know if it's currently Jacob J. Lew still, so you must check that out. Go on Google, Yahoo, look up who's currently the Secretary of Treasury, and that's one page, the appointment fiduciary. There's another appointment fiduciary, which will be the Inspector General. His name is Eric M. Thorson. I'm not sure if it's currently the same person still, so look that up. Inspector General in one page. In 19, there's a fiduciary appointment with the Commissioner IRS. So this right here is the Commissioner will be Daniel I. Werfel. So check that up to make sure that the Commission of IRS is up to date. And by the way, as you can tell, this is why I say every bond is valuable, because promissory notes, dollars are nothing but promissory notes with nice designs on it and their corporate presidents on there, their corporate leaders. You see, because sovereigns don't have presidents, only corporations and clubs. You know, you need a leader in a club, or it makes no sense to having a club. So as you can tell, everything's in all caps right here, which denotes that it is a corporation. So if anyone using this dollar bill that's not part of the club is committing a crime. They're committing a crime each time they use this dollar. You are committing a crime each time you use this dollar, to let you know. Because it's a promise to pay note. It's a private promise to pay note. And it's for a club. It's for a club based on membership and contract. A duly executed contract. And this contract right here has statutes, has ordinances, it has codes. So if you're in this contract, statutes apply to you, ordinances apply to you, codes apply to you. If you're not in this contract, you can't use this private currency. This is their private valuable, their private collectible. Nor do their laws apply to you. Not the speed limit, not the red light, green light, not the court laws, or nothing. And they're afraid of this. This is your loophole out. If you're not part of my club, my laws don't apply to you. Hey, you're not supposed to be doing this and that according to my club rules, aka statutes, to trickle your brain. Hey, I'm not part of your group. You can't tell me what to do. Do you have proof that I'm part of your club? Oh, dang, he knows. I can't say nothing. I'll look stupid in court. Very stupid. It's meritless. And all these charges that they're putting on us is meritless. Contract rules the land, and they can't infringe on contract. All this stuff we're doing with the straw man, contract, and it's private, non-negotiable, non-transferable. And as you can tell, this ain't the States of America United. This is the United States of America in International Incorporation. So there's a corporation. It's in all caps again. It's in all caps. They're not trying to emphasize on the United States. They're telling you there's a corporation. And who's it owned by? By the Crown. They have Federal Reserve Bank at the top because it owns the United States of America. Now, this is one of their presidents. It's $1. This is what they call their thing. They could have called it one holler, one doo-doo, whatever you want to call it. You know, this is the name of this collectible they have. It used to be redeemable in gold, you know, gold certificates, gold and silver certificates, but H.R. 192 had took that away. So as you can tell, there is a bond number, just like the registered mail number on your bonds. So this is a bond. Between who? Between whoever signed their signature right here. This is authorization in this person. So there's a contract between this person and that person. And this is the date it was signed, which says 2006. So look on your money, there's different times. And this is between the Washington District of Columbia, in all caps, the corporation. So corporation owe another corporation money, and we're held as collateral through the birth certificate because of that. And you must discharge that birth certificate or you're still in charge of it. And if you're silenced, you have accepted it by acquiescence. You see, which means you are in charge of whatever amount of dollars that birth certificate owes. So that's what taxpayer is, someone who's a member of the club. And as you can tell right here, there goes a letter again. One of the 12 letters that associate with the 12 Federal Reserve banks. If you look on your dollar, it tells you the bank that is from. I know you can't see this clearly here. Let me see. Yeah, you can't see it clearly. Pardon me, man. I got to get my computer fixed. But here, K, it says right here, Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, Texas. So this is where this money come from. This is where this money is being routed at. So K is the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, Texas. Now, for you to tap into the account number, turn the K to a 0, and then this whole thing is the account number. Now, this H to have at the end, I'm not sure what this is, but on the back of your social security number, it's the same thing. It's a promise to pay. You promise to pay them. You promise to pay them. And in consideration, they give you benefits like food stamps, child support, school discharge, loans. You get to get jobs. They give you a lot of benefit. You get unlimited credit to discharge your debt. And this was the only benefit. Not to keep you trapped by it. But because you don't know this, and because you don't know that you're supposed to accept for value the debt, you have added on to the debt, and they noticed that you were ignorant of the debt and the benefits and the contract between it. So they kept the benefits. They're still charging you for the debt. And on top of that, they're triple and double dipping on you when it's already prepaid. According to HR 192 in Public Law 73-10. And a couple of other laws. According to the Constitution, not only gold and silver is deemed money. So this gold and silver to you? You know what I'm saying? Every time you use this, you're committing a crime and fraud. You bring this into court to pay off a court case, you're going to jail. This gives them jurisdiction. This gives them authority. I need to burn this right now. And burn this president that had enslaved my people. And on top of that, they're using our symbol. The all-seeing eye of Lucifer and the pyramid. And they're talking about New World Order on it, and there's curses and all this stuff and designs on it. And in God, they don't trust, but in God, they said they trust. We used to be one unity. We're not no more. And trust, as you know, means Social Security account between a trustor, which is the grantor, the employer, indemnitor, and the trustee, the employee, indemnity. You see? And so the trust is the account, the principal. They're trying to treat you like you're the trust. They're trying to treat you like you're the fiction. They're trying to treat you like you're the account, like you're the cattle, because you haven't clarified who you are. And this is the whole point of doing this whole paperwork. So now continuing on, flick that promise to pay note over there. So everything's promise to pay notes. It's all based on promises. Let me see if I have the fiduciary appointment paper here. Boom. Give me a sec. I'm going to take a sec, guys. Let me see. Alright, I don't have the fiduciary paper in front of me right now. It's because I already sent out all my stuff already like a year ago. So, alright, but if you contact me, I'll give you all this stuff for a reasonable price. The whole redemption packet plus more information. So contact me ASAP before they kill me or, put me in jail or try to, persecute me and treat me bad or whatever they may do. Because, I don't have 1 million people with me. 100 people is fine, but I ain't got 1 million people with me and they probably do. So it might come kicking down the door. He knows too much. Kill this dude. It makes too much sense what he's saying. It's true. Contract and consent rule the land. Do I have a contract with you? And I don't consent. I don't consent to his conversation. I don't consent to his procedure. I don't consent to you using my property without my authorization, written and notarized for proof. So what are you doing? You're injuring me now. Now I'm going to put all this stuff on you because you're using my private copyright material. I'm the power of attorney of the entity. You're trying to treat me like it. I made a peace treaty with you to declare peace. You still injured me. My proof is my UCC, which is my international claim. You know what I'm saying? I gave you your legal notice and demand way ahead of time. On top of that, you put me in jail. I'm indemnified. I'm insured, so I'll be out. So, there's a couple of other bonds, but I'm going to show you that right after I show you all this. So the IRS form, International Revenue Service, or Internal Revenue Service, or Registry Service, like the BAR is British Admiralty Registry, or the British Administrative Registry, or the British Administrative Registration, or British Admiralty Registration. So there's a lot of ways they can use these abbreviations. They don't always mean what you think they mean. So don't abbreviate things when you're speaking about the real man. Like if you're going to spell out your state, don't spell FL, because FL can mean all types of stuff. But if you're using the fiction, yeah, you can use FL, you know. But if you're using the natural man, put FLORDA in upper and lowercase, denoting that's a real place. So there's an IRS Form 56. This is how you appoint the it's called Notice Concerning Fiduciary Relationship. Form 56. You can get this on the irs.gov page where their tax forms are at. All tax forms are there. They're your best friend if you know how to use them. So notice concerning fiduciary relationship, which means this is going on file. This is on file. So now you put the straw man's name in all caps. The identifying number will be the social security with dashes, because you're dealing with the straw man. You put your address, zip code, all that in all caps. The fiduciary's name right here would be Jacob J. Liu. Then you put the address of Jacob J. Liu. And the zip code, all that stuff will go for that fiduciary. So there's three people you're appointing to be a fiduciary, remember? So there's three Form 56 forms you're going to do. One to Jacob J. Liu, Eric M. Thorson, and Daniel I. Warfel. And it's all going to be executed the same way. If you want to, you can check it out. Pause if you need to. The only thing I checked right here is other, and I described it as just the appointment of fiduciary, debtor, and creditor relationship. I just put debtor and creditor. Nothing here else is filled out unless you need to. You can check out the form if you want to. I know it's difficult to see it on my phone. And this is the end part to it. You can use this to discharge your court cases. Like if you're gonna, the judges, the officers are all trustees. They're all in charge of. They all have a fiduciary position. Anyone working for the state is a fiduciary. Even doctors and lawyers are all fiduciaries, trustees, these douchebags. So now you can use this to discharge your account, or appoint the judge to discharge your account, and use the bonds to discharge your account without misappropriating your funds. And you put the court administrative, the court's name, court address, docket number, and all that stuff. So this is what you will use to discharge or appoint a trustee in court. So now if they breach the contract as a trustee in court, now they'll get in big trouble. Big trouble. Fiduciary is supposed to sign their signature there, and you're supposed to be sending this with number 22, the IRS Form 1040V. So the Form 1040V looks similar to something like this. This is a 2012 form. You got to get it up-to-date one. It's a 1041V, pardon me. It actually gives you some instructions on how to fill it out. But down here, the employer identification number, EIN, will be the social with dashes, because you're dealing with this. Hold on, pardon me. Okay, pardon me. Employer is always EIN. EIN mean you, employee employee identification is you. Employee identification is the straw man. So employee identification, the one who's employing, is your social security without dashes. The EIN, exemption identification number, is the best way to see it. Exemption insurance number. And then you put the name of the estate or the trust, which is your straw man, all caps. the name and title of fiduciary, that will be whoever you're appointing to be a fiduciary, Jacob J. Lew or whatever, the address of the fiduciary, zip code, state, all that. Where it says dollars, leave it blank, because you don't know how much it's going to cost them to do it, and this is how they get paid. This is how they get paid with this document. Leave cents, whatchamacallit, empty, blank, and accept for value this. Accept this for value. And accept it for value on the front, and on the back, flip it over on the top and endorse it like you would a check, and reserve all your rights. Because this is a check. There's literally a check. It's a payment voucher. It's for payment. So make your check or money order payable to United States Treasury. And do not staple or attach this voucher to your payment or return. So this is how you pay the IRS or anyone in the government. Even the schools and all that stuff. You're going to need this with them. So I hope you're absorbing what I'm saying, because I know I'm talking kind of quick to try to get this done quick. I wasn't expecting this to be this long. So when you accept it for value at a 45-degree angle. And put the acceptance for value in all red, in all capital letters, and put your name and signature in wet blue or purple ink. Purple denote royalty, blue represents a real person. Sometimes they say represents a debtor too. Black represents death. It means you're dead when you write in black or anything in black. And red represents in blood. I mean, you're writing in blood. So purple, royalty. Blue mean debtor, or mean real man or woman, natural man or woman. Red denote blood. Black denote death, dead. I'm not black. I'm Hebrew Israelite. Black mean death. If anything, I'm white. I'm pure. I'm clean. So, alright, so we got that out the way. This is how you pay them to do this whole process for you overall, and you're appointing them to be your trustee, to manage the account, to watch over the account. Like when you go to the bank and you open a bank account. Like, yeah, I like to open a bank account, how much money would you like to put in? That would be your promissory note, your dollars. How much of these are you going to put in there? You give them the bonds, or, with these you use a whole bunch of dollars and 20s and hundreds. But with a bond, like the ones I show you, the private registered bonds and all that stuff, and promissory notes, you give them one, and then they go ahead and type into the computer how much you have. And this is exactly what they do with your social security and all that. They type into the computer and credit it. They give you credit, unlimited credit like they promised. And now they send you checks in order for you to cash it and get some of these, because now they owe you gold and silver. But in the meantime, because they don't have gold and silver, they have to give you these promise to pay notes. And this is them stating that they owe you gold and silver. But us, we're fools. We never try to wait for gold and silver. We go ahead and go to a store and spend this. So the check is also going to come from the Federal Reserve Bank in their name and all that, and you go to any bank and you cash it, which means you turn it into a debt instrument. So now once you have that, once you cash the check, you pretty much just got paid. Unless you hold the check and wait until they have gold and silver, but that's never going to happen, because there's a bigger fraud and frivolous and deceptive thing going on bigger than this. So as you all, when you send the document to number 24, the last document, there's an actual and constructive notice. So you're giving them a constructive notice, telling them what you're doing, why you're doing it, and all that before you do it, so they don't treat you like you're nuts and crazy and lunatic or a thief or a fraudulent or a scammer or none of that. This is my private property, and this is void wherever prohibited, but this is my private property. That social's mine. Now, if I'm using someone else's social security number and birth certificate, okay, but that belongs to me. That's my private property, although the state created it. They created it. I have a duly executed claim on it. They call it a perfected claim based on all of this. There's money involved, a true bill in commerce, all this, bills of exchange, all this stuff. So that's the affidavit of notary presentment. So once you make sure you have all these documents and it's certified, you get this notarized as well, the affidavit of notary presentment. By the way, you're going to be sending this to 19 companies after you send it to the IRS and the Inspector General, the IRS Commissioner, the Secretary of Treasury, the County Deed Office. You're going to be sending it to 19 companies in total. So this is the cover letter. This goes in the beginning with your cover letter right here, pre-offset notice. I put that together with, where is it? Okay, it's right here. Pardon me. Let's see if okay. I don't know if this is it. See, now you get this all notarized, the acknowledgement of notary, the document. So with this, where the cover letter, pre-offset notice for balance book adjustment, you'll put the cover letter with it, put the registered mail number at the top, number it, document date. And this is going to Jacob J. Liu, which is the Secretary of the Treasury Department of the Treasury, 1500, their address 11500, pardon me, 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 20220. The second person, you're sending it to the Social Security Administration, is where they're ministering this stuff, these ministers of accounts. You're sending that to P.O. Box 33008, Baltimore, Maryland, 21290-3008. That's the zip code. So now the third person is the Federal Reserve window. And you're sending them all these documents except the bonds. The only person you're sending the bond is the Federal Reserve Bank. And you're going to put those bonds on 32-pound bond paper. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to take 1 sec. I'm still here with y'all. Cost me a bunch of money for this, but it's 100% cotton, 32 bound paper. It's watermarked and everything, just like birth certificates and all that. They look like this, heavy paper. You know, they got watermark when you put it up to the light. You can kind of see it right there. So this is what they use to make the bonds, because they're gonna weigh this stuff out. And this is the one I got. Business paper, Southworth, Ivory. And this is what you're gonna put all your bonds on and all that stuff. So continuing on, the third person is the Department of Transportation, Ray LaHood, and that is the Secretary of the Department of Transportation. So you're sending that to address 1200 New Jersey Avenue, Southeast SE, Washington, District of Columbia, D.C., zip code 20590. And make sure these people are currently in office, or you're going to be sending it to wrong person. The fifth person is the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. This is most likely where you're going to be sending your liens under the U.S. Tracer Title 15 when you're sending liens or trading bonds and all that stuff. So Security and Exchange Commission headquarters, is going to address 100 F Street, 100 F Street, Northeast, Washington, D.C. So 100 F Street, Northeast, Washington, D.C., zip code 25549. Now, the sixth person you're sending it to is the United States Securities and Exchange. Pardon me. Let me see. Did we already get that? Okay. The sixth person you're sending it to is the United States Court of International Trade. Now, this is at 1 Federal Plaza, New York. Yes, twice. New York. Zip code 278-0001. Now, the seventh person that you're sending it to is the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. And this one is going to the Regional Secretary Office of Compliance, Inspections, and Investigations. Because you're putting everyone on notice, and the person you're sending it to there, the Regional Secretary of Office, is Ronald L. Crawford. Now the eighth person. Now the address of that is 3475 Lenox Lennox Road, Northeast Suite 1000, Suite 1000, and this is in Atlanta, Georgia. 32326-1232 is their zip code. So continuing on, the eighth person you're sending this to is the United States Department of Commerce, of commercial buying and selling. The United States Department of Commerce. And the person of there is Dennis F. Hightower. Once again, that is the Deputy Secretary, Dennis F. Hightower. So that'll be at address 1401 Constitution Avenue, Northwest Washington, District of Columbia, District DC, 2230. Now the ninth person you're sending it to is Stephen T. Miller, Office of the Commissioner, Internal Revenue Service. So they're at 1111 Constitution Avenue. Make sure the address and places are right too. Do your little research. Constitution Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 2022-4. All right, let's continue on. Number 10, United States Department of Commerce, Office of General Counsel, Department of Assistance and Finance Litigation. And this is at address 14th and Constitution Avenue, 14th and Constitution Avenue, Northwest Mail Stop, 5875 HCHB, Washington, D.C., 2023-0. Now, to these companies, you're going to be sending it certified mail. If you want, you can do it registered mail. But with the United States Treasury, you're going to be sending it registered mail, because they're the ones who's getting your bond. These other companies can get certified copies of your bond, but they're going to get everything else but your bond, so they don't duplicate it and do all that other stuff. So now we're going to go on to number 11. And everyone gets this cover letter too, so everyone knows who's it's going to. So number 11, Eric M. Thorson, United States Treasury. And this is the Inspector General. And they're at 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 2023-0. Oh, pardon me. Let's do that over. So they're at Eric M. Thorson, number 11, United States Treasury, Inspector General, 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 2022-0. So now number 12, this will be whatever state you're in, UCC. For me, I'm in Florida. If you're in Texas, you put Texas. If you're in Boston, you put Boston. So whatever state you're in, Secretary of State, whoever's the Secretary of your state, UCC division. And whatever P.O. box you're at, put that in. If you're in Florida, the P.O. box is P.O. Box 5588, Tallahassee, Florida, 32314. Now you gotta look up your state's UCC to put in the right place. And whatever state you're currently in. If you want, you can also send it to the state you're from as well. That wouldn't hurt. It will help probably. So number 13, you're sending this to, pardon me, it's a little bit blurry. Number 13, you're sending it to Michael Danilak, D-A-N-I-L-A-C-K, Lack, or designee, deputy, commissioner, international. So that address will be P.O. Box 920, Ben Salam, B-E-N-S-A-L-E-M, P.A. And that will be zip code 19020. So now right here, number 14, this is going to your Secretary of State himself. Mine is Ken Detzner. Or the state that I'm in is Ken Detzner. He's the Secretary of State. Whoever's Secretary of State, put it there and send it to their address. Look up your Secretary of State. So it's Secretary of State for me in Florida, Suite 405. The Capitol, that's what it's called, the Capitol, Street 404, South Monroe Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 32999-1100. Now continue on number 15. You're sending it to Ivy Chesney, or designee Director of International Operations, Internal Revenue Services. And this is at 1111 Constitution Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 2022-4. Number 16, United States Department of Transportation, Assistant General Counsel for Environmental, Civil Rights, and General Law. You're sending this to room W96-304. In parentheses, C-10. And this is United States M Street, US M Street, and New Jersey Avenue, Southeast, Washington, D.C. 2001. That's the zip code, 20001. Number 17, you're sending it to Jeffrey Atwater, Department of Financial Services, 200 East Gaines Street, for me, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399-0344. Now that would be for me, because that's the Department of Financial Services in Florida. Department of Financial Services in Florida. So number 18, as you know, Puerto Rico owns the Department of Treasury now, and China actually, and Islam. Sad stuff. We're about to lose all our rights if we don't all know this stuff. So number 18 is Juan Carlos Puig Morales, which is Juan, Juan, Carlos, Carlos, Puig, which is Puig, Morales, which is Morales, Department de Hacienda. So this is how they call it in their language, because you have to use their language when you're sending that. Department de Hacienda. Hacienda is Department Department space D of D means of DE and space HACIENDA. And that's P.O. Box 9024140, San Juan, Puerto Rico, zip code 00902, 419. And the final person that you're sending it to, the 19th company, is the Registry of Vital Records and Statistics. Wherever yours is at, wherever your vital records, your birth certificate's at, look on your birth certificate. It says it on the top. Mine happened to be in Massachusetts. You can look on Google for yours to make sure it's right. And that's at, the one for Massachusetts is 150 Mount Vernon Street, first floor, Dorchester, Massachusetts, 02125-3105. And this is on the cover letter in the beginning, so that they know all the people you're sending it to. So now, to wrap it all up and stuff, there's so much stuff, it's ridiculous. These are some of the other bonds that you want to make sure that you have done. The private registered indemnity bond. Make sure that you have that. Don't send them all at the same time. That's why it's not on my list. There's a certain time you're supposed to send it. And this right here, the private registered indemnity bond, goes with the insurance. That then the hold harmless indemnity agreement and the straw man holding you harmless. So the bond number, indemnity bond number, will be a different registered mail number. PS Form 3606. You might want to put all your registered mail numbers on your UCC too, so you're claiming it as yours. Claim your bonds. And this is for insuring and indemnifying me from any damages, admiralty actions, for any affidavits, attestations, activity, accidents, for electrics, for whatever it may be. You know, it's indemnifying me. There's 5 pages to it. And at the end, you're always putting the bond number, which is the registered mail number, and the registered mail number is the same. So, you're making a bond order, which means you're making an order. So, to all these orders, you want to make sure you send the 1041 form so they can get paid. Because to every order, there's a charge. So, they got to get paid. And make sure you send the Form 56 with it, so you can appoint whoever you're sending it to as fiduciary. So as we continue now, we go through the private registered indemnity bond. Let me put this to the side. At the end, you make sure you get the thumbprints right here. Thumbprint of 3 witnesses, or two sureties and the principal. Get your 3 witnesses down here, the living address, and blah yada yada. You date it. Once you get these documents from me, you'll know when to send what and why and all that stuff. So I'm giving you an overview right now. For those who have these documents already, these are just strong confirmations for them right now. So as you know, we already did the indemnity bond. There's also the private registered indemnity bond. Oh, actually, that's the same one that we just seen previously. And that one's for a value of $3 million. $300 million to discharge all your debts. And this is how you put money into your account. And you're registering it. You're making it private. It's non-negotiable. And it's an insurance bond. All insurances are bonds. That's what makes insurance. It's because it's a bond. A bond is contract. It's a covenant. Contract's a law of existence. And I'm in a contract with the Most High as Yis-RoyAl. You might want to open up a P.O. box so you can send all this stuff to it and do business through there. It's not giving out your personal address and that stuff. And put in the debtor's name, the all caps name. So, right here is another bond. It's a registered bonded promissory note. Don't send these at the same time. The note number will be the registered mail number. The U.S. The U.S. P.O. Post Office registered mail number is also the registered mail number. This one's negotiable. Now, this is where people start to invest in your bonds, where they're like, whoa, there's 125% interest on it. Let me see. By the way, let me see the bonds. There's a maturity date. I don't know if I have it on these ones. There's a maturity date on these bonds. Pardon me, Rose. 1 second. Okay, so let me see. Anyone using my property, anyways will be sued. I'll find them out. Registered LIBOR number will be a county recorder's deed office number, because when you send your documents to the county recorder's deed office, they give you a LIBOR number, LIBOR number. There's actually something, a big purpose behind that too, but I can't explain it right now. So there is. So each maturity date has each bond has a 30-year period between it. So right here I issued this bond on the 23rd of the 8th month of 2003. So 8/23/2013. It matures on 8/23/2043. So there's a 30-year period between each bond to mature. So this right here is a registered bonded promissory note. It's not only just a promissory note, it's also a bond. And this right here is to pay off all your debts and all that stuff. This to pay off all your debts, whoever it may be. And down here where it says vendor, account holder name, it would be your name. Put your name right here. Attention CEO or CFO. Vendor account holder address, and vendor account city, state, zip code. So whoever would be the vendor, you'll put their name right here. Attention CEO or CFO, Chief Executive Officer or Chief Financial Officer, etc. Vendor account holder address, where's their address, and their zip code, state, and all that stuff will go here. And this is how you pay them. It's through the registered bonded promissory note. And this right here can be sold in the stock market too, and they can get paid. Alright, so you already know what that is. These bonds, they don't go together. Another bond right here is a private registered offset and discharge bond. Now this is what's going to discharge all of the debts. The other ones were to put money into account, bonded promissory notes, discharge debt, all that stuff. The private registered indemnity bond. This right here is for discharge. This is to discharge all debt. And this is to discharge whatever debt has to do with anyone or anything, damages, criminal debts, contracts, conspiracies, arrests, bonds, all that. And now you can use these numbers.